Das Team vor Ort war klasse, waren total aufmerksam, echt super geil.
Hi, ich bin Nicole alias Niki Tzatziki und es gibt jede Menge Gründe, warum ich Gamescom lebe. Das fängt mit den Games an, geht über Merch, Loot, übers Cosplayen und hinaus zu meinen Freunden. Gamescom ist für mich das Event im Jahr, wo ich die meisten meiner, vor allem Halo-Cosplayer-Freunde wieder treffen kann. Wir sind mittlerweile eine doch große Familie und ich freue mich jedes Mal darauf, sie wiederzusehen.
Los, so, gleich geht's los, Leute. Das ganze Ding ist ja ab 18 anscheinend, das sieht jedenfalls so aus. Schön, dass ihr da seid und vielen Dank fürs Einschalten. Jetzt geht's los, noch ein bisschen Flight Simulator, so wie das aussieht. Knapp eine Minute. Wir steuern an. Gamescom. Köln-Messe. Na? Einfach frei, Leute. Ich gehe in den Discord, da könnt ihr ein bisschen mitschnacken. Das Ganze soll hier übrigens 1,5 Stunden ungefähr gehen. Ich gehe in den Streaming Voice und ja. Bis gleich.
Hello everyone and welcome to our Gamescom 2021 Xbox stream.
We've got so many great game updates to share with you today. We're talking Age of Empires 4, Psychonauts 2, and my personal favorite, Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Hey Violet!
Later on, we'll take an extended
Hello,
look
Ulix.
at Forza Horizon 5. There's so much going into this, and Playground Games' vision of Mexico is muy bonito.
And we'll be getting our first look at the cover car for the game, Paris. I got $5 on it being one of those electric scooters that you see piled up on the sidewalk.
Will Kate win $5? I guess we're about to find out.
Yes, indeed. Our Xbox Plays team will also chat with devs and deep dive into current and upcoming games all week on twitch.tv/Xbox.
What's this week?
Let's get started with Techland and their upcoming zombie parkour sequel, Dying Light 2: Stay Human.
Dying Light 2.
Hello, I am Timon Smektawa, Dying Light 2 lead game designer, and this is David Lubryka, animation director. Hi. We can't wait until December 7th to finally give you Dying Light 2 Stay Human, the game we have been working on really hard for the last few years.
Na,
The gameplay video
frisch?
you're about to watch will give you a full
Prost.
taste of parkour and combat systems waiting for you in the game.
And we are just about to enter the city, fighting our
Dying
way
Light kommt jetzt.
through its brutal and dangerous
Ich hab's auch gerade
streets.
so geschafft.
Though, as you will see in a moment, there are plenty
Ja,
of
muss noch
things
vorhin
you can use
einkaufen.
to your advantage.
Er hat alles noch
So
zeitig
watch
hingehauen.
closely, look for special combat
Kamera
and
mit
parkour
Profi.
moves, and
Jetzt
check
geht's
out
grad.
how with just a bit of creativity you can combine the two. Ready? Let's go.
Sometimes I wonder what this city looked like before all this. Probably like many others. People had their ambitions, plans, lives. Now it's all gone.
Das ist ja auch schon 1000 Jahre angekündigt, wa?
But it was the people who
Dying
made
Light
the world
2?
the way it is. This city.
Ich glaube ja.
Villador. They tell me they had a vision. They had hope. But soon,
Gamescom, nächstes Jahr müssen wir mal wieder hinfahren.
broke into many different
Auf jeden Fall. Also ich bin da.
Da bin ich schon
Locker
völlig grau.
schlau.
Da bin ich schon ganz grau. Da bin ich schon ganz grau. Nur der Weise bin ich dann.
Instead of fighting together, people stood against each other.
Wir müssen das Foto remaken, Mo.
War broke out.
Von der GC. Ich muss.
Ach so, ja.
Ja, ein Remake von dem Foto.
Auf jeden
War
Fall.
ich Miras, war ich Yps.
Ja,
Mokka ist bestimmt dabei.
auf jeden Fall. Steig im Flieger, komm ich rüber gedüst.
Now the city
Ja.
is falling.
Ja, ich freue mich schon. Vielleicht sind ja ein paar Leute von meinem Squad da, wäre auch cool.
I can't let that happen.
Nächstes Jahr wird es ja wohl klappen.
At least,
Ja.
not yet.
Weil so lange war jetzt Corona, also so, das muss auch mal langsam enden.
It's the city
Ja,
vault.
na jetzt wo die Impfungen ja durchgehen.
Ja.
I have to pick a side. The bazaar needs good people.
Das sieht aber ganz nett aus, wa?
Mhm.
Hast du den ersten Teil mal gespielt? Ich weiß nicht, darf man das überhaupt sagen?
I
Ich glaub,
have
ja.
to make a difference.
Ach so, der ist ja nicht
Nee,
mehr indiziert. Der
aber
war
nicht
indiziert. Oh, jetzt kommt vielleicht das Fieset. Hat man nicht gesehen zum Glück.
Great change is a series of small gestures. How about this series? hope
Boom.
really gone? We'll see about
Geschnitzelt.
that.
Well, that was an exciting trip, wasn't it, Timon? Did you notice those bandits in medieval-like armor passing by skyscrapers, banks, and large billboards? That's what we call a modern Dark Ages.
And it's a very unique design, one very important for the plot of Dying Light 2. But there's another thing that stood out to me, all those parkour moves that you and your team has put so much effort into.
Well, all you need is a few thousand of animations, cooperation with professional tracers, mock-up sessions, and invaluable help from David Bell, whose face and moves player will see in the game, by the way.
No, yes, right. And we've got twice the number of parkour moves compared to the first game, and we are showing some of them in this trailer. The vault kicks
Ja,
being
dazu.
the most important to me personally. It brings a whole new fighting style into the game. The player can stagger an enemy and use them to perform further attacks, for example by rebounding from their bodies, jumping off them onto other foes, and so on.
I think we captured the movement really well and made it quite simple for the players to perform. I can't wait for them to try it out and tell for themselves how much they loved it.
It's definitely going to be useful. The city's buildings are higher than anything we have done before, improving its verticality. Players will need to find a way to reach those tall skyscrapers and other challenging spots too.
Then it's good we scattered some helpers around, like a paraglider, which can support players in both parkouring and combat.
Exactly, and it's gonna do great, especially in fights against humans, which are more frequent and important than in Dying Light 1. It's been over 20 years since the events from the first game, so people adjusted. They are much bolder now, at least during the day.
And they are more vicious too.
And I think that's a
Ja, freut
great
sich.
summary of this discussion. Pre-order Dying Light 2 and explore its vast, complex world on December 7th.
Morgen kommt
Thanks,
Psychonauts.
David. Thank you.
Violet.
Ja, hab ich runtergeladen.
Ja?
Ja.
Hast du mal geguckt, welche Uhrzeit da steht? Nee, wa? Steht ja mal da.
For the first
Nee,
time,
ich habe gestern nur
the
gesehen,
story of the
irgendwie in einem Tag
franchise,
verfügbar.
Microsoft Flight Simulator launched on a home console with the release on Xbox Series X and S last month. Reviewers and gamers alike were blown away by how well the stunning visuals and the depth of the simulation translated to the console, and that's why I'm extremely honored to welcome the head of Microsoft Flight Simulator, York Newman, to the stream. York, thank you for being here. The last time we met was at the Xbox Game Showcase, and it was getting ready to come out on consoles. How did that go?
It went great. As you said, the reaction to the Xbox console launch was really just amazing. Both from Xbox gamers and from the press, they've been so gracious with their feedback. I don't know if you know, but Flight Simulator is one of the highest rated games on Xbox this year, which I think is just great validation that the
Deutscher, der könnte auch Deutsch reden eigentlich.
simulation to the console has really worked well.
Aber will
Our
er nicht.
usage numbers are through the roof. We are absolutely shattering franchise records, and I can tell you there have never been more people playing Flight Simulator than right now. So it's an awesome time.
That is awesome. Congratulations on the launch, really. But
All right.
I want to go to the danger zone. So what's going on with Top Gun?
There's so much going on, Paris. So you and I talked about Top Gun Maverick earlier. The fans are super excited. They saw the FA-18. They can't wait to start flying. And as you know, it comes out later this year as free DLC alongside the movie. But as the movie is still under wraps, so are we, so I can still not tell you that much about it. But there's so much else going on, even before Maverick. So we are continuing to do our monthly big releases that we've been doing for a long time. And next month, on September 7th, we are launching
Am 7.
World
schon?
Update 6. And this world update, I mean, at the beginning of the show, if you remember, there was a little red plane flying into Cologne. Well, we did that because World Update 6 updates that region, the region of Gamescom. So Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. And what that means to us is we have new aerial and satellite images. We have a new elevation map that helps us with the mountains. So the Alps actually look awesome now. We have new 3D cities like Frankfurt and Wuppertal in Germany. We have Basel in Switzerland. we have Vienna and Graz in Austria, and those cities look just amazing. They have like 7 centimeters
Schön sieht es schon aus, das Ding.
and it's awesome. But we want to celebrate the entire region, so we picked 100 of the most scenic places, the most famous landmarks, and we call those POIs, and we sort of spread them throughout the simulation, and we also added airports. We did Lübeck and Stuttgart in Germany, and Klagenfurt in Austria, and St. Gallen in Switzerland, and what it ties it all together is missions. We're having new discovery flights, we have new landing challenges, and we have new sort of tours of the country. So they fly you around all the awesome looking places and really celebrate the beauty of this region.
Yeah, Sonic.
And this is a celebration of DACH, of Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. I'm so happy to be able to announce the date here at Gamescom.
You know, that is really incredible, all the different regions and everything that you're going to have in the game, and the way that you're going to be able to actually highlight those.
Yeah, I think it's really cool, but you know, for us, it's actually not just the region and the visuals. We talked a lot when you study aviation, when you love aviation like we do, you actually realize that a lot of regions of Earth have a very special relationship with flying, with aviation. Sometimes it's, you know, the first experiments with aircraft, or a famous pilot, or a feat of aviation, or like a local manufacturer. So we thought to ourselves, why
redet
do
ihr
we
denn
not
so
use
viel?
these
Weil
world
das
updates to celebrate the
Ich weiß
planes?
nicht.
So we are announcing a new series.
hab Angst,
we
dass
call
jetzt
them
so
local
weitergeht.
legends. And think about that as planes that are
Bitte nicht.
locally well known, like in that region, but outside in the world not so much. But why not use the world updates to highlight this, to bring these awesome machines to a worldwide
Das
audience?
ist ja ganz interessant, aber das kann man auch danach hochladen, oder? Dass sich jeder angucken will, den
It's
interessiert.
called Junkers U-52.
Ja.
In Germany, it's lovingly named Tante U, so Aunt U. And we think of us as sort of a digital preservation. So we really want to get these planes to an extreme level of detail. We're going out of our way to really go deep. So we're doing a full scan. We take full scans of the outside and the inside, as detailed as 1 millimeter, which is as good as you can really do this. And then we're working with, for the Junkers, we work with Bernd Junkers, who is the grandson of the original creator of the plane, Hugo Junkers. And he's helping us. He had a ton of insight and materials. Then we worked with an organization that is preserving one of the last surviving examples of the Junkers. So they let us scan and take photographs. And then we were lucky that to find a pilot that actually flew one of those planes while it was still flying in the real world. And he lets us know, like, is the cockpit right and the sounds right? Does it feel right in the air? So we're having a blast working with these experts to really bring these, to celebrate this plane, to bring them back to life.
Ist schon krass, was die da mal für einen Aufriss
almost like
machen,
you're
wa?
creating like a digital museum for aviation inside Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically that. It's a museum with flyable planes. So we're working with 40 museums around the world, and it's honestly one of the funnest parts of the job. You end up working with these curators of planes. These are their babies, and they sort of see the tooth of time in the real world sort of nagging on their remaining planes, and they're so happy when we come in with our scanning equipment, and we're basically capturing their planes, and they know that we can digitally preserve them in perpetuity. And we're actually giving those scans back to the museum so they can do something with it. And it's a great collaboration. And we're actually not just looking back in the history of aviation, we're also looking towards the future. So I have another announcement. We are working with a fascinating German company called Volocopter. And they're making an eVTOL air taxi for urban traffic. So they have a vision of the future, how these drone-type machines basically connect people in large cities. We're working directly with the engineering team to make sure that we are capturing their planes and their aircraft perfectly in the flight simulator, and that's coming out in November.
I mean, you weren't kidding when you're saying that there's a lot going on inside of Microsoft Flight Simulator. Is there anything else you want to share?
Yeah, there's one more thing. I'm so happy to announce that we've partnered with RARA. That's the Reno Air Racing Association. And every year they put on something called the Steel National Championship Air Race. And we're bringing this to Flight Simulator. So this is the fastest motorsport. This is right down your alley. It's the fastest motorsport on Earth. And I actually brought you a little trailer to look at.
So race, speed. We go into the danger zone, baby. Let's go ahead and show that.
Trailer kommt noch. Top Gun Trailer oder was? Das war's jetzt?
Hä?
Das jetzt?
You know I like going fast, and you know I love being in the danger zone. When is this coming out?
Man, these planes, they fly 500 miles faster than
War das
500
der
miles
richtige
an
Trailer?
hour, 50 to 250 feet above the ground.
Cool.
So you are definitely going to be in the
Ich
danger
dachte, die zeigen
zone.
jetzt hier was
without
von
going into too
Top
much
Gun
detail,
so.
this Reno Air Race is actually the largest expansion we have since we launched on Flight Simulator. It's not just because we scanned all the famous
It's the
race
Flight
planes of the
Simulator
world.
stream
There's
here.
lots of them. This is also the first time when you can basically race
Jetzt
against your
1,5
friends and
Stunden.
pilots across the planet. And so a competitive multiplayer is coming to Microsoft Flight Simulator, and that will definitely test your pilot skills. And you ask, when is it coming out?
Also man kann ja sicherlich 1,5 Stunden darüber reden und zeigen und das schön finden, aber
Oh,
nicht
that
jetzt
is
bitte.
fantastic. And you know I have the need for speed, so I can't wait to get my hands on this and participate in some of these air races.
Awesome, man. We got you covered.
All right, thank you. If going fast on the ground is more your speed, keep an eye out for an extended look at Forza Horizon 5 later on
Forza.
in the stream. We'll also
später.
talk with Wasteland 3's game director about the game's next big DLC. But first, if you're an Xbox Game Pass subscriber, we have some great news for you.
Oh, was gibt's jetzt schön mit?
Here I come! Build a weapon, one that blows the world
Die kannst jetzt alle im Game Pass spielen.
away.
Humble Games.
Build a rocket that'll come and take away us all. Gonna come back. I am
Wir kennen da nicht ein Spiel von, du?
Nee,
the day.
kenn ich nicht.
Build a weapon that'll turn us into newborns again.
Ach du Scheiße, 3 gegen 3. Das ist vielleicht mal ganz witzig. Oh, das sind Flint. Unpacking, doch, das habe ich schon gehört. Kenn ich. Da musst du nur auspacken. Ja,
Aber das ist schwierig. Ja, aber das ist schwierig, oder Mo?
ja, aber soll ganz interessant, also ganz witzig sein, so, weil das halt.
Ich meine, du holst einfach, du packst es nicht aus.
Ach so.
Ja, schwierig.
Ja.
Aber irgendwie ist ja jetzt nichts so, wo man so sagt, so wow, also.
Nee.
Ich weiß nicht.
Dann würdet ihr der Pixel das da, das Pixel-Ding da. Das finde ich ganz interessant. Aber sonst. Was spielt ja mal eins gerne. Ich habe ja vorhin Dingens gespielt, war?
Hm?
Metroid Fusion. 6 Stunden. Ich dachte, ich schaffte durchzuspielen, aber nie geschafft.
They added even more
Also in der
games
Zeit.
to Game Pass.
Ja.
Let's talk about what's coming up. We're talking Age of Empires 4, the game's creative director, and we're going to see what's next for Sea of Thieves. But now, we've got a new roguelike retro shooter that in grand retro fashion
Da
sends
kommt
you
nichts
plundering
Neues, wa?
through
Hab ich so den
shifting
Eindruck.
dungeons to defeat a mysterious eldritch terror. Let's dive into the game.
Ja, oder das kommt danach, also so später dann.
Eine 1,5 Stunden soll das gehen. Hab ich gehört.
Eine halbe Stunde haben wir gleich rum.
Und dann noch über Sea of Thieves und. Dann habe ich schon wieder vergessen. Halt, die richtige Eröffnung ist ja erst morgen.
Ja, stimmt, vielleicht zeigen die morgen dann.
Was ist das? Also sowas ist ja nicht meins, wa?
Nee.
Into the Pit. Aha. 19. Oktober im Game Pass.
Well, I am here with creative director of World's Edge, Adam Eisgren. And Adam, I'm so excited to talk
Age of
H4,
Empires.
You brought something a little different and very special today.
Yeah, I have. So, so far we've been showing everyone kind of what Age looks like from in the game, when you're playing it. You've gotten to see a lot of footage of that. And we've also shown a little bit of our campaigns, right, through when we unveiled the 100 Years War and showed Joan of Arc. But we have yet another way in Age of Empires 4 that we're kind of bringing history to life that we haven't talked
Habe ich
about
auch nie gespielt, Age of Empires.
You put me in suspense.
Ich weiß, in der Grundschule damals so, da hatten die das gespielt, aber ich habe das auch nicht wirklich gespielt, also ne.
Okay, that's enough. So,
Hat der auch nur auf dem PC gehabt, oder? Ja, er hat nur auf dem PC.
Ja, ich habe nur PC so.
War ich ja da eh raus.
We have over an hour of them total, and they're called hands-on histories. And what
Ich weiß ja nicht, ob das neue jetzt auch rauskommt für Konsole.
Fun subjects from the cultures we're representing and just from medieval history.
Excellent. Well, I hear you've actually brought one of those segments that you're going to share here for the very first time.
Yes, I have. We are going to show you the segment on one of the most popular units from Age of Empires franchise and a fan favorite, the Trebuchet.
Excellent. Well, this I gotta see. Let's.
Ich hab dich gesehen, Cookie.
Ich
wollte
gehört. Gerade vielleicht in einem Trailer oder so rein.
Achso, hey Cookie.
Guten Tag, ich bin hier, um Neuigkeiten zu verkünden.
Achso, und die wären?
Crossplay-Spiele mit Hütern auf allen Plattformen.
Ah ja.
Die hat jetzt Crossplay.
Sehr gut.
Runterladen heute Abend.
Kann ich mir nur nicht runterladen, weil es zu groß ist.
Ich müsste, glaube ich, draufkriegen, wenn ich glaube ich.
Ich habe keinen Platz mehr.
Gerade eben noch.
Muss ich Platz schaffen erst.
Ich muss gerade gucken, weil da wird mir jetzt angezeigt wegen Bungie-Name, die machen ja jetzt ein neues System dafür rein.
Aber wir haben ja ein Bungee-Konto, also ist ja egal.
Ja, aber ich mache das so anhand des Plattformennamen und dadurch wird mein Bungee-Name generiert. Ich habe keine Ahnung. Ich schau da mal ganz kurz auf
Okay.
rein.
Ja, ich spiele eh auf Xbox, also ich hab dann eh meinen Gamer-Tag, also.
To prime, the 6-ton weight is raised using tread wheels.
So this is one of the wheels, one of two that's attached to an axle, which would lift the counterweight, weighing 6 tons. It's based on muscle power alone. What's essential about launching a projectile as far as possible is making sure that this end of the arm is moving as fast as possible. So once that weight drops, it really sends this point of the arm moving at its highest velocity.
This was done by positioning the pivot close to the counterweight and by launching the projectile from a sling. When released, the sling whips round, vastly increasing the launch speed.
Der Flüster-Cookie. So.
Hä? Was ist?
Das ist immer so leise.
Bin ich wieder leise oder was?
Ja, leiser als Violet auf jeden Fall, ja.
In order to weaken the castle walls or even breach them,
Er redet ja auch
you
gar
had
nicht.
to make
Ja,
sure
ich
that
sag ja auch gar nichts.
projectiles hit the same spot every single time.
Naja, bei mir ist Cookie vom Ton ist es okay. Bisschen leiser als Dumo, aber ist in Ordnung bei Cookie.
Ja, ist schon lauter als damals, ja.
Ja, ja.
To achieve this, masons used a gauge.
Was machen die denn da jetzt? Zeigen die uns,
Ich weiß es nicht.
dass sie das alles in echt nachgebaut haben und sich angeguckt haben und
Ja, ein Katapult.
Schön.
That's the weight of 2 men.
Pokéball. Musst du noch anmalen.
Trebuchets were also used to throw burning tar.
Genau, weil man fängt mit Katapulten, fängt man Pokémon.
Naja, die Giant-Dinger da, wie heißen die?
Die Giga Dynamax Pokémon, genau.
Die fängst du so.
It was the counterweight trebuchet's lethal combination of power
Das willst du nicht abkriegen, so eine Kugel.
that made it the ultimate medieval
Das
siege
ist der Matsch.
Okay, Cross-Save habe ich. Ich gucke gerade alles nach.
Der Cross-Save habe ich auch halt damals schon aktiviert, überall.
Ja, ich gucke gerade nur.
Der Cross-Save hatte das doch schon länger, oder?
Ja, musstest du aber überall verlinken.
Yeah, so one of the things
Ja, ich gucke gerade nur, wo mein Name herkommt, das jetzt von Bungie.net
There's a
herkommt,
phrase
oder
I'm
was
really
weiß ich,
fond
oder
of, which is
die
history is
Dinge,
only as
es ist
interesting
geil,
as the
Cookie,
people
was
who
juckt
taught
mich
it to
das?
you. And You could say that about any
Ich gehe davon aus, dass ich mein Xbox GT haben werde, also egal.
Someone that's so enthusiastic and passionate about history, it really comes across. And we wanted to be that kind of teacher.
Mocker muss ich sagen, das nochmal schreiben. Der hat nämlich Symbole in seinem Namen.
There's a phrase called humanized history they use to kind of describe what we tried to do, which is we tried to like connect.
Für mich würde nur in Frage kommen, wenn...
You can see that kind of in our briefings as well, where we've got like real stuff with like CG kind of overlaid.
Kommt da eigentlich irgendwann mal ein neuer DLC?
And so for these,
neue Erweiterung?
we really wanted to do that same thing. So
müsste doch, ne?
Ourselves and Relic partnered with this amazing group in the UK.
Letztes Jahr schon wieder eine ganze Weile her.
TV, and they've done production on an amazing amount of shows and
ja, da ich den immer noch durchspielen muss.
Won every award you can imagine for media.
Ne, das eine, das wir gemacht hatten, Mo, das muss ich ja machen. Das meine ich. Das hast du ja durchgehabt.
Ach so, ja, aber so an sich haben wir das ja nicht durchgespielt. Ah, doch.
Doch, haben wir komplett durch.
Später
du hast die Fähigkeit.
Anti-Namen ändern können.
Stimmt.
Deshalb, ich musste das ja nochmal machen.
I love it. Now, you also, of course, you've got a
Nur damit ihr Bescheid wisst, in-game Voice-Chatten dessen und so wird bei Crossplay noch nicht zur Verfügung stehen. Anscheinend gibt es da noch Probleme.
Egal, das ist
ist okay.
Ja, erstmal also nur spielen in dem Sinne.
Ja, egal, nehmen wir einfach Discord und dann passt das.
And I'm gonna let your imagination go with what we might show.
Ja, ich bin wieder in der Warteschlange, weil ich kurz rausgegangen bin, um was nachzuschauen.
But the thing I love about
wird cool, ich freu mich drauf.
They go all over the place. So, we've got ones on warfare and castle building and like how they kept flaming arrows from not going out when she shot them and so
echte Bögen haben sie gemacht, alles.
On, like illuminated history and falconing and like horse taming, armor creation.
Was war hier los, Brecke? Wir haben dich vermisst bei Need for Speed.
Which is really cool because those instruments we actually used them in the soundtrack for the Mongols when you're playing as them in the campaign in the game.
Ich habe jetzt 355, weil
I just love the behemoth amount of history that you guys.
Hab gestern Abend noch kurz gemacht, kurz 2,5 Stunden.
Completely different way, and I also love.
Schaut ihr gerade hier diese Gamescom, Xbox oder was das war?
Ja. So much research, and it's so great to see this approach being used in a hands-on history kind of segment.
Was wurde so schön gezeigt?
What was that approach like to sort of, sell going forward?
Leider nicht.
Since it's such a unique in-game
Klingt ja gut für die Xbox.
Well, the cool thing was it was there from day one. It was one of the things.
Warte ab, wenn wir was zu Halo zeigen, dann wird's gut.
Vielleicht haben die einfach Gamescom einfach gesagt, ja hier, wir geben euch ein bisschen Geld, dann dürfen wir alle zeigen, morgen halt. Man wisst ja nicht, die Verträge da.
Finding that middle ground is really challenging, and every time we've tried to show, we've shown the campaigns or we've shown these hands-on histories, I've been like, oh God, is it gonna work? Like.
Nintendo hat ja leider abgesagt, noch einen Monat vorher.
Wenigstens Tag vorher.
I've just been like, wow, this is great, and it's so different and kind of cool and refreshing. So, so far so good, right? But yeah, it's been a journey.
Da kommt der Kino Direct leider.
Well, I love that you mentioned Journey because we are coming towards the end of this development journey for Age 4. Talk to me about where people can find and learn more about Age of Empires 4. I know they're all chomping at the bit.
Oh, well, October 28th, we are launching the game.
18.
You can go to
Oktober.
ageofempires.com to learn more about the title. And if you're really, really excited
ja,
right now, you can go onto the Microsoft Store or Steam.
Es wurde ein Warlock-Helm gefunden, der mit einem bestimmten Shader aussieht wie eine PS5.
We will be there day one, Xbox Game Pass for PC as well. So anyone that's on that can just grab the game and start playing.
Den musst du dir holen, Cookie.
Yes, I believe you are a part of the very special.
Ja, und du musst den trotzdem einfach holen. Einfach bei PlayStation.
11 a.m. Pacific
PC-Spieler.
There might be something
so was schon höre.
related in there, so if you're a fan.
Nee, Cookie war PlayStation.
Ist ja eklig, ist ja
ich bin
PlayStation.
PC-Spieler, ich verneine jede Sache.
Was meinst du? Du warst vorher auf PlayStation. Das ist genau wie Mocker vorher Xbox war.
Ne? Von wem hast du sowas gehört?
Was denn?
Dass ich PlayStation-Spieler gewesen sein soll.
Das habe ich an deiner Konsole gesehen, Cookie, also brauchst mir nichts vormachen.
Welcher? Ich habe hier eine Xbox, eine Wii, eine PS4, einen PC, ich habe alles.
Oh ja, die PS4.
Ja, aber ich spiele da doch nicht drauf.
That's right, Kate. Xbox Cloud Gaming is already available on Windows PCs, mobile phones and tablets. And now,
nach dem, was ich mit den Cheatern in Apex gesehen habe, werde ich sagen, nein, ich bin kein PlayStation-Spieler.
No waiting to
Das war bitter.
Spielst du auf dem PC, wo die meisten Cheater rumkrepeln.
And no buying a new console just to play with with your
Ja, auf
friends.
PC das
See
ist
how the
wenigstens
vision of
nicht
cloud gaming will bring people together without
Da muss ich
barriers.
wenigstens nicht sehen, ja, 200.000 PC-Spieler
So when I think
hochgeladen.
about cloud
Da waren ja
and
nicht
when
mal
I think about
200.000.
gaming, those two things
Ja, wie viel
together
waren
to
das?
me
Aber
really
die
Die
Differenz
Spiele
war schon
waren-
extrem von PlayStation zu PC.
PlayStation-Spieler waren von allen Plattformen, die bei Apex gebannt wurden, waren glaube ich 90% PS4-Spieler.
Ja, das ging ja nur um das eine Ding da. Das war ja fast gar nichts.
Ja, das zeigt trotzdem, wie viel da los ist.
Wenn du überlegst, bei Warzone machen die alle 3 Monate, weiß ich nicht, 50.000 oder so.
Games are large and you want to keep the ones that you know you
Then
love
they
on your
bunt.
hard drive. Xbox Cloud Gaming is about being able to discover the new ones right away. It's super exciting that for our Game Pass Ultimate members, they will get to experience Xbox Cloud
War da
Gaming
irgendwie so, die
on whatever
letzte
console
Mal
they
waren,
have.
glaube ich,
Cloud gaming
35.000
is
oder
really
so.
about looking at how people play differently. I know me in particular, sometimes I just have 20 minutes.
It should be as easy as finding the game that you look for on your console and just jumping right in.
We're targeting 1080p at 60 frames per second.
What's crazy about this is like the latency. This is the kind of stuff you need with cloud gaming.
Oh, 60 frames? That's actually very
Kommt das endlich mal auf Konsole?
The process itself to get into cloud gaming feels like you're playing on console, right? You go, you find the game you want, you press play.
Geht das
so
jetzt?
easy nowadays. You can pick up any device and pretty much
Haben
play
die
any
da gerade
Xbox
gemacht?
game on Game Pass.
Was?
If my friends have
Na
titles I
hier,
don't have yet, I can just wait for them to send me an invite,
Xcloud
and it makes
auf der Konsole.
content just so much more accessible.
Oder, achso, die haben den...
Flexibility. That's awesome.
Oder die haben
Everything that
einfach nur,
Xbox is doing
das
right
ist
now
einfach
is
nur die
just
Xcloud-Oberfläche
getting
auf dem
rid of the
Rechner
limits
gewesen.
Of having to be on a specific platform or a specific console, play on PC and mobile, and now on Gen 8.
Yeah, Gen 8 consoles can play Gen 9 content. Isn't that
Jetzt,
so cool?
jetzt geht's
With
los.
cloud gaming, we have the ability, because you are
Ach, jetzt
connecting to
Violet.
consoles that are in our data
Hab ich grad so
centers,
verstanden,
to
oder?
allow the Gen 8 customers, the
Ja.
Xbox One customers, to play games that their hardware wouldn't have been able to play without it.
There's so much opportunity when it comes to thinking about how we can make content more readily available and let people play where they want to. Sign me up. I'm ready for cloud gaming right now. Let's do it. When's the release date? When does it release?
Nee. Irgendwie immer noch nicht. Coming to Xbox... Ach, Holiday. Ah, zu Weihnachten erst, Violet.
August 9th saw the release of the free optimized
Dauert ja
update for
wieder noch.
Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice on the Xbox Series S and X. With beautiful and rich visuals, thanks to the addition of ray tracing and improved materials alongside performance updates, this is the perfect opportunity to relive Senua's journey or experience it for the first time. And if you haven't played this, do yourself a favor, grab a pair of headphones and immerse yourself into this world.
Agreed. Speaking of unique
Das war ganz
experiences
cool, ja.
on Game Pass,
Senua's
the Xbox
Sacrifice.
Plays team will be taking a look at some ID at Xbox titles over the next few days, including 12 Minutes and The Big Con.
They're also talking with developers from Halo, the Master Chief Collection, Forza Horizon 5, and Destiny 2. So join the live Q&A to get your burning questions answered. You can catch all of those streams on twitch.tv/Xbox.
Speaking of Forza Horizon 5, don't forget our friends at Playground Games will give us an extended look at their monument to motoring in Mexico later on.
That includes never-before-seen areas of the game map, plus cars that have never been in the Forza franchise before. I've loved everything I've seen of Forza Horizon 5 so far, and I can't wait. Now, Kate, there's more games to check out, right?
Well, right you are, Paris. Let's talk Wasteland 3. Their newest DLC introduces us to a new cult. The Cult of the Holy Detonation.
Wasteland habe ich auch nicht gespielt, du?
Deep within Cheyenne Mountain, we've changed. Devolved into the mutations you see before you. Set on a righteous path. The holy detonation's life-giving glow should be shared with everyone. May the light of the holy detonation purify you. Join us, Rangers.
Nicht in Game Pass, ist nicht für uns, Violet.
With new patches, bug fixes, and added features, like a fine wine, Wasteland 3 just gets better with age to really savor the game's bouquet. We're talking with inXile game director David Rogers. David,
ziehen die wirklich jetzt durch hier, weil
super stoked to be here. Thanks.
So in the trailer, we saw that the DLC is coming out on October 5th, but we know, inXile, Wasteland 3, you guys have been working on this for a very long time. So can you kind of talk about that journey?
Yeah, our dev team has been working non-stop full tilt, trying to make Wasteland 3 the best version of itself it could be. Over the past year since it's released, we've added features, we've balanced, we've listened to the community, we've fixed bugs, added stability, and I really think that the version that we have now is the absolute best version of the game, and if you've never played it before, now's an awesome time to jump in.
Well, congratulations on everything that you've been doing with Wasteland 3. Now, this DLC is called The Cult of the Holy Detonation.
Ich bin gerade verwirrt, was bei mir los ist.
Talk about that a little bit. Tell me what's going to go into this DLC. What should we be excited about?
Right. So you've heard of Cheyenne Mountain, right?
Yes.
For those who haven't, Cheyenne Mountain is this top secret military complex buried deep in the heart of Cheyenne Mountain.
Der Dachstream, also der Deutschland, Österreich, Schweiz.
When you hit level 16, an old friend calls you and says, hey, I need your help securing this secret military base and all the secrets within. And as soon as you get there, you find two warring cults battling over trying to take control of the Holy Detonation, which is this pre-war science experiment that they worship as a god.
Yeah.
And, these cultists are insane, they're mutated, they've gone totally mad, and all they want to do is share the holy radiation with you and your entire ranger team. How generous!
Yeah, that sounds a lot cooler than some of the cults I may have joined in the past, but this is typical Wasteland fashion. We're really going to be able to get in there and mix it up, right?
Right. So you and your ranger team insert yourself right smack dab in the middle of their holy war, which, what could go wrong?
Yeah.
And this is a Wasteland game, so you decide everything. Choice and consequence is our bread and butter. And so you decide who lives,
kommt bestimmt alles erst morgen, Julix.
Who takes charge. You're deciding the fate of the cults, the Holy Detonation, Cheyenne Mountain, and ultimately all of Colorado. This is really your
morgen
game to
erscheint
craft and mold.
That's awesome. So the last expansion was the Battle of Steel Town,
DLCs und so ein Kram.
Giant robots and things like that. So, what we're going to do to actually top something like that from the last expansion?
Right. So we wanted returning players to find something that they could never find in another version or in previous versions of Wasteland 3. And so we built this as a Wasteland-style dungeon crawl. And in there you find this awesome mix of mystery, exploration.
Bei
You're meeting
XBox
these crazy cultists who have been locked in this pre-war time capsule and some of the raddest boss battles we have ever been able to build in a Wasteland game.
That's awesome. I want to get back to the crazy cultists, but talk to me about these big boss battles. I want to hear more about that.
Right. So we took the best parts of Wasteland combat and breathed new life into it with objective-based combat, which are basically super rad boss battles. It's no longer you're huddling in a corner, throwing down turrets, just going on murderous rampages. It's not about killing, it's about getting the job done. And so now, combat doesn't end until the mission is over. We send you on proper combat missions. You're in there, breaking into prisons, rescuing POWs. You're disrupting these high-tech cultist rituals. You are splitting your fire team and coordinating like you never have had to before. Everyone on your team has a job, and I really think this is going to take old players who know their ranger team like the back of their hands, and it's going to make them scratch their head and really have to rethink how they go about combat and making it new, exciting, and challenging in a mentally in a way we haven't been able to really do before with just straight-up murder combat.
Now, Wasteland has a reputation for getting a little silly.
Right.
What are some of the weird characters we can expect in some of the story encounters we'll see in the game?
Yeah, with Cult of the Holy Detonation, we really got to cut our devs loose and just let them be creative and fun and silly. inexile's modus operandi is if we're brainstorming and something makes us laugh, we just put it in the game. That's just how we do it, and we pick up the pieces afterwards. Because we want to make something that entertains us, and then we know if we're having fun, our fans are going to have fun along with us. And so we got to explore, really letting you get into this weird radiation cult, and let you interact with them and talk with them, and tell stories and maybe even join them.
Yeah.
And so for instance, one of the characters you meet, one of the first cultists you meet, is this slimy beast. He's got claws and fangs and
Danke, dir
hanging
auch.
out, and he's drooling, but he's like the nicest guy in Cheyenne Mountain. Like you meet him and he's like, hey guys, you should like come in here and like soak up some of these rads. It'll be great. And he Sherpas you in and lets you meet the whole cult. And another one of my favorites is the Proteus. He's
Kommt
what you
bestimmt noch was
get
Tolles,
if
Violet.
you
Warte ab,
took like
warte ab.
20 cultists and you like melted them
Halte
into a
durch.
big pile. Kind of like I would do this with like a magnifying glass. I would like melt like army
Bin
guys
guter
and like
Dinge.
GI Joes into a big pile. And he's wet and sloppy and
Halo
gross.
kommt
And
noch.
he's hard to understand. And you need
Hey,
a
spielt
translator,
Halo,
supposedly.
alleine, ohne
But he's like your
Koop.
#1 fan. And getting to build like this totally out there, wild, extreme character was a ton of fun to write for. It's a ton of fun to like explore
leider
like,
so, wa?
what makes this cult tick. And he's an
Ja,
absolute
das
blast.
ist
Hell, even
doof.
some of the weapons
Also,
that you find in Cheyenne Mountain,
Solo die Kampagne,
they're devolved
nee.
cultists. Like there's one guy and he kind of devolved into this like vomiting.
Also klar, kann man machen, Menno habe ich auch schon gemacht, aber zu zweit macht schon mehr Spaß.
But
Ja.
we get to play with these fun body horror themes that let us jackknife between sort of like dark
Vor allem,
and
warum das
serious
nicht-
and
ich
like
verstehe das
goofy and
ja
funny,
nicht.
which is a line
Total
that
komisch.
Wasteland
Wir haben jetzt
really
ein
loves
Jahr
to
mehr
ride.
Zeit
Like,
gehabt.
you know, a
Was mich
lot
ja
of
total
really important
angekotzt
stuff is
hatte,
fake,
war
but,
bei
you know,
Halo,
the Wasteland's a pretty bizarre
Halo
place.
5 war das, glaube ich.
Imagine. Now, we
Da
talked
war ja,
before, you've been
da war ja
working
gar
on
nichts. Also da war ja auch irgendwie, da war so Kampagne, nur Solo so und kein Splitscreen. Denke ich mir so, was soll der Scheiß?
Ach, da war das auch schon so?
Ja, da war das auch schon so. Und da dachte ich mir so, hä, warum? Also
Ach
Halo
so,
war ja
wusste ich gar
immer.
nicht. Ja.
And like I said at the top, like Wasteland
Deshalb,
is like
und
the
bei Halo
best
5 war immer dann
version of
so.
itself right now because of
Ich kann
all
nicht
the
Das war auch mit so einem Grund, warum ich den nicht gespielt
over
habe.
the past year. And so you can get the whole thing with the
Ja, der
Colorado
kann Lust hat er allein
collection.
da.
That's the base game plus Cult of the Holy Detonation and Battle of Steel Town.
Na, der Multiplayer
all for
wird ja
discount.
eh
Or
Free-to-Play,
if you
wa?
have Game
Der ist
Pass,
ja
you
eh
already have
extra.
Wasteland 3. Just
Ja,
download
aber
it
ich
and play
schwach's mit der
it. And then
Kampagne,
you can
warum
get
macht man das
both
so?
expansions with the expansion
Verstehe ich
pass.
nicht. Und vor allem haben die
That is
ein Jahr mehr
awesome.
Zeit gehabt
Now,
jetzt.
to kind of recap this a little bit,
Ja.
we talked about, you know, spewing pus bags.
Weil
and
dann
these
war das
weird
ja
characters
vorher auch
and
schon
the
nicht
cults
drin,
and the
wisst ihr?
boss battles and all these really cool things that are going to be in Wasteland 3. But please remind everyone before we get out of here, when can you pick up this DLC?
Right, this Work of Passion, it comes out on October 5th. We're really stoked.
Auch am
That is
5.
awesome.
Oktober.
So this is the Cult of the Holy
The Cult of the Holy
Detonation coming October 5th. David, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Barish. Appreciate it.
All right. In the 3 years since its launch, Sea of Thieves has played host to some incredible crossovers, including unique ship sets inspired by games like Battletoads, State of Decay, Halo, and more. Today, we're excited to announce a brand new special event that will award players an all-new ship as a part of the latest wild crossover heading to Sea of Thieves. Better yet, this event begins tomorrow. So get ready to make some mayhem, and let's get our first look at this very special ship.
Oh nein. Was passiert jetzt? Borderlands, Sea of Thieves.
Borderlands Schiff.
Guten Tag, everyone. Really cool to be a part of this all-digital Gamescom event. And we were thinking, what's the best way to kind of
Aber
celebrate
spielt nicht
Gamescom
normal,
and
du,
to be a
Violet.
part of this as
Nee, ich auch nicht. Das ist nicht so meins.
Ich hätte da gerne Story-Mission gehabt, sowas, wisst ihr?
Ja, also nur Multiplayer ist zu eintönig dann.
And we're giving
Ja.
all of our players a chance to earn it during kind of the Gamescom time period. So it's been really cool to work with the
Man
Borderlands
sollte
team
jedes
to
Spiel
bring
zu.
the
Ja,
ship
fast
to
jedes
life
Drücke.
and giving all of
Also
our players
Last
a
of Us
chance
oder
to earn it
sowas,
as part of this live
spiele ich
event
lieber
that
alleine.
we've cunningly titled Mayhem. You might notice the link. So you can
Aber
probably
so
guess the kind
viele
of
Spiele
activities
machen
that
zu
are
zweit mehr
involved,
Spaß, ja.
but if you head to
Vor allem, wenn es ja dann so
in the Sea of
nur
Thieves
Multiplayer
world,
ja
you'll be able
ist,
to
dann ist
learn
ja
the details
nur noch
of what you
Farm.
need to go do to earn
Ja, ja,
ships.
ja, ja, eben. Also
So
hier bei Sea of Thieves
everybody
meinst
gets
du,
a
ja.
chance to take
Ja.
part in this awesome time-limited event. So it starts today and it runs through to September the 7th. So that's the time period you've got to get your hands on the Mayhem ship set. And I think that's it from me. So as always, I will see you on the seas.
Das Problem war ja auch, wir haben ja nicht durchgesehen.
Ja, dann auch noch.
Wir kommen ja noch dazu.
Hope. It's always always been a dangerous world in Trumbull Valley.
Zombies.
But now, it's hope.
Ist das,
That brings us
State of
back
Decay
together.
oder was? Hast du das mal gespielt? Ist ja auch im Game Pass.
It reunites
Nee,
our
habe ich noch nicht
friends.
gespielt.
It builds new bonds. And in the face of a growing threat, hope is the greatest weapon we have.
Mit dem Karussell drauf. Ein Riesenrad.
Welcome back to Trumbull Valley.
Und nächste Woche.
Well, just like zombies
Jetzt
themselves,
wird sie noch eine 20 Minuten unterhalten.
again in State of Decay 2. And we have a guest to walk us through this undead update. Please join me in welcoming Undead Labs Director of
Macht dir eine Stulle, Violet. Ein Brot.
Hello, I'm great. It's great to be here. Talk about the Homecoming update releasing on September 1st. We are very excited to get this into players' hands.
You are indeed. So let's talk about the Homecoming update. Obviously, we are coming back to Trumbull Valley. We were there for Heartland, the update, back in 2019. Talk to me about the differences, and I'll sit right here and listen because you're adorable.
So Heartland is the story mode within the game, but it's a very linear, narrative-driven experience. You know, players couldn't move their communities there. So that's all changed with the Trumbull Valley map. It is the 5th core open world map. It's fully remastered, and it expands into 2 territories that were completely inaccessible in Heartland. So players can return to Trumbull Valley with their communities, start new communities there, and really start exploring everything that the new map has to offer.
So then, would Homecoming be a sequel then to Heartland?
Yeah, exactly right. So the events in Heartland kind of play out. You see what happens in Trumbull Valley. So we think of it as the 3rd part of our Trumbull saga that began with the original State of Decay game, continued into Heartland, and now we see what has happened since then and what storylines might be coming to a close. So there is a lot for players to discover, a lot of environmental storytelling to find, and you know, things have changed. So this isn't the Trumbull Valley that players might remember. So that's going to be exciting.
Interesting. Well, and anytime you expand something like Trumbull Valley, you just have to have a juggernaut of content, pun intended. Talk to me a little bit about what some of those things are that players can get in on.
Naja, die haben jetzt schon viel eingekauft, Slayer. Also die haben schon genug.
A ton of new content. In fact, we're doing something unique with the Trumbull
Aber
Valley
heute
map.
kommt so
There are
nicht viel.
items there that you can only find on that map and nowhere else in the game, including 12 new hats and outfits, 10 new very cool weapons. We've got 6 new bases,
Anscheinend war das
2
auch
new
ja nicht so
achievements for
geplant,
achievement
wenn man das
hunters.
jetzt hier sieht.
And on top of that, we
Hier
are
groß
adding
was
the
zu
game's
zeigen.
12th bounty pack.
Wenn du
So
das
that will be
vergleichst mit dem
available,
E3-Trailer
from the
hier,
bounty
Show
broker
Violet,
across all
war?
maps, and I have to say they are some of the
Wo die
coolest
E3 war, da
weapons
kam
I
ja
have
ein
ever
Trailer
seen
nach
go into the
anderen.
game. I'm so
Das war ja
excited
Hammer.
for people to
Ja.
find
Also,
them.
A juggernaut amount
war
of
echt gut.
content, and I don't care who sees that second pun of the day. That works out great. Well, let's talk about the
Das
State of
ist
Decay
so,
community, because it's
ne.
absolutely an integral part to this entire franchise. And State of Decay being on Xbox Game Pass, how has that impacted the community? How has that impacted the game? Talk to me about those.
It's been fantastic, and you know, we have an amazing community. We
Zum
love
Glück
them
haben sie
so
schon
much.
gesagt, wie lange das
In
dauert.
fact, one of the reasons we're doing Trumbull Valley as a map is because it was one of the most requested features from the community, which also makes it very exciting for us to be able to say, we did it,
Alles
you
klar,
did it."
Bricke.
And we have a major milestone that we're celebrating.
Ja.
State of Decay 2 has 10 million lifetime players.
10 million lifetime hang your hat on that. I absolutely love that. That is
Really grateful.
Incredible, amazing news. Congratulations to you and the entire team at
Thank
Undead
you.
Labs, man. Fantastic work. Well, speaking of Xbox Game Pass, let's give me the deets one
Aber
more
wie gesagt,
time
zum
when
Glück
it
haben sie
comes to
gesagt, dass es
the update.
1,5 Stunden geht,
So the
dass es eine
update
Zeit
releases September 1st.
ungefähr, wann es
It's
zu
a
Ende
free
ist.
update for all State of Decay
Nicht so
2
wie,
owners, and
was
it's
ich da mit
included with
Mokka
Xbox
damals
Game
geguckt
Pass.
habe. Ich weiß nicht mehr, was das war.
Happy
Das ging ja über
Homecoming.
3 Stunden.
I love it. Thank you, Wonder, very
Und da
much.
haben die das
My
auch so
pleasure.
gemacht.
Now we move from Trumbull Valley to the Lost Valley of
Habe
Akria.
ich ja nicht
This
bis zum Ende
mystical
geguckt.
location trades zombies for ancient warrior clans, forgotten temples of long-dead god kings, and a healthy dose of hack and slash. All
Also ich
this
fand
awaits
bei der
in
E3 am
Stray
besten Xbox.
Xbox war super, ja.
Die haben da 30 Spiele gezeigt oder so und 25 davon sind im Game Pass.
Ja, da war ja fast alles drin.
Ja.
In Strayblade, you discover the mystical lost valley of Akria, a world which ranges from overgrown temple ruins to frozen caves and winding canyons. A game world that changes based on your victories and plenty of dudes to stab in blade-to-blade combat. If that weren't enough, you even get a fuzzy little pal to help you out. Between the epic fights and this small guy, clearly a lot going on here. So let's hear more from Point Blank Games about
Man muss jetzt fast so sagen.
Hello everybody, I'm Leonard Kausch, Game Director at Point Blank Games, and today I will show you Strayblade.
Ist das neu? Hat man das vorher schon mal gesehen? Ihr kennt das ja nicht.
Strayblade is an action RPG where you play a rogue adventurer who is exploring the ancient valley of Akria with his companion, a witty wolf named Boji. Unveil the history of the Forgotten Valley, muster the powers of the 3 Akrian metals to restore balance to this war-torn land.
That is the how, as well as the why.
Ja, am Ende kommt noch, also auf jeden Fall kommt ja noch Forza. Das zeigen sie noch, oder Forza, wie man immer das auch aussprechen mag.
Our combat system merges strategic anticipation of enemy attacks with split-second blade-to-blade reactions. It is the high noon of skill-based melee weapon combat. To achieve that, we put our hearts into creating fluid, well-readable animations and epic cinematic finishers. You can choose from multiple weapon categories that can be combined to fit your playstyle. Now, let's take a look at the exploration. Akria's colorful world ranges from overgrown city ruins to frozen caves and winding canyons. Together with your companion, explore the deepest corners of an ever-changing world bristling with adventure. Every discovery holds treasure. Find rare materials, recipes, weapons, lore pieces, and beautiful places. Change is part of your journey, where every victory impacts the world around you. When you die,
Aber so sieht schon jedes zweite, dritte Spiel aus, wa?
New foes invade camps that you
Mit dieser Grafik.
And when
Gefühlt jedenfalls.
you, only one thing is certain. The change you brought shapes what now awaits you. And of course, get ready for epic boss fights.
Forza werde ich auch spielen, Brecke.
We hope you enjoyed the first look at Strayblade, which will be out next year. And keep an eye on our social media channels for more information.
Next up, one of the most unique games finally comes to Xbox.
Ich warte auch ab, Slayer.
Unique. As in my evil
Da kommen bestimmt noch schöne Sachen. Morgen spätestens.
Unique.
In case that didn't tip you off,
Ich weiß ja nicht, was sonst noch ist, so hier bei der Gamescom. Also an Streams. Also die anderen ganzen Hersteller.
And evil twins, apparently.
Hab ich ja keinen Plan.
Yeah. It's coming to Xbox as an adaptation, not a direct port, meaning that the UI and controls have been refined to bring that grand strategy experience to a controller.
Not to mention bringing the grand strategy experience to my comfy living room couch.
We'll all be ruling from our throne room soon enough. Check out Crusader Kings 3, now coming to Xbox consoles.
Also ich glaube, an sich ist Forza besser als Need for Speed. Aber ich bin da auch nicht so drin. Forza habe ich auch nicht gespielt so. Also, ich bin da auch der falsche. Aber jetzt vom Wertungsdurchschnitt her ist Forza besser. Aber das ist ja immer. Das ist ja jeder selber entscheiden, wa?
Ja, ist halt so Geschmackssache,
ja,
was
eben.
man halt besser findet da.
Und der Heat ist ja jetzt auch ganz cool eigentlich. Aber das davor, das war kacke zum Beispiel. Das habe ich nur eben mal angespielt, das war von Anfang an irgendwie doof.
real strategy.
Meinst du Need for Speed Payback?
Ja.
Payback
ja.
habe ich nicht gespielt.
Aber ich mir runtergeladen, immer gespielt und das war irgendwie schon komisch.
Crusader Kings 3 is wild. You really haven't
Ja, da ist er ja
lived
keiner.
until you've made an 8-year-old the King of England.
Well, it's nice to have hobbies. We've all gotten into some weird stuff this
Halbe
past
Stunde
year.
noch.
Weird like diving into people's brains and exploring their mental universes projected
Forza 4 ist
into
im
a
Game Pass, ja.
psychedelic 60s wonderland kind of weird.
Da kommt Psychonauts. Das spiele ich
that
doch
kind of
nachher.
weird, which means I am so excited
Oder
for
morgen.
Psychonauts to finally get a sequel. It has been so long.
Das hat gute Wertungen bekommen. Weil das-
There really is indeed. Now, think
gespannt
about
drauf.
this. 2005, when Psychonauts originally came out, was a different time for gaming. Most of the biggest games that year, we're talking Resident Evil 4, Battlefield 2, Call of Duty 2. They were great games, for sure. But they were all big.
Musst du ja nicht, Slayer. Du musst ja nicht jede der 70 € bezahlen. Kannst du ja auch selber entscheiden und sagen, ich mache das nur alle 3 Jahre.
Heartfelt moments. It was an oasis of color and humanity in an era
Könntest du ja beim
when
Formel
games
1 Spiel
were
genauso
increasingly
sagen.
grimy, dark, and combative.
Not to mention having some deceptively deep character moments.
Oder bei jedem
That's
Warzone.
why the original is considered
Call
a
of Duty.
cult classic.
It has been a long time coming, and it is finally here. Enjoy this long-awaited launch trailer for Psychonauts.
Aber ich verstehe schon, was du meinst.
Ja, ich verstehe den Punkt schon, Mo. Ich meine, wenn du dazu guckst, klar, jetzt kannst du sagen, bei jedem COD, aber du hast ja bei manchen COD-Teilen hast du ja neue Mechaniken so. Und
Hast du beim
ich glaub,
FIFA
so,
auch?
bei FIFA,
Die
ich
wissen
weiß nicht, ob da so viel
keine
Luft da
Ahnung
oben
haben.
ist.
Die ändern da auch was am Gameplay. Und die,
Ja klar, aber ich glaube, da kannst du jetzt nicht so großartig viel verändern, meine ich jetzt.
My name is Raz.
Ah, egal.
ich will es auch nicht.
New intern. And today is
Ich würde es auch nicht machen, mach ich ja auch nicht. Jedes Jahr neu FIFA, aber... Die Sache ist ja mal die, wenn du das dann im Jahr 1000 Stunden spielst oder deine 500 Stunden, dann ist das ja 70 € wert. Weißt du? Warum nicht?
Ja, dann lohnt sich ja klar, wenn du aktiv spielst.
Wenn du nur deine 20 Stunden spielst, dann ist das rausgeworfen Geld.
Ja.
Quit picking on the new kid. We were all new ones.
Also gerade bei FIFA.
I've got eyes on the target.
Gibt ja auch Singleplayer-Spiele, die jeden nur 20 Stunden und kosten 70 €. Oder noch weniger sogar. So wie Resident Evil oder so, das geht ja nur 8 Stunden. Oder wenn du schnell durchspielst, 2 Stunden oder 3. Na hier, Dingens geht ja jetzt einen anderen Weg, wa? Hier, oder, das heißt, wie ist die anderen? E-Football jetzt? PES? Das ist ja jetzt Free-to-Play. Das andere Fußballspiel.
Achso, hier meinst du Pro Evolution Soccer, ja.
Das heißt ja jetzt E-Football und das Free-to-Play. Und da kommen irgendwie mal Updates und dann hast du halt natürlich mehr Ingame-Käufe, wa? Also.
Well, it's clear I could not be more excited for Psychonauts 2 because I gotta be honest, me and that original game, we got some beef that needs settling. If you know, you know, the meat circus level.
Aber die
is
haben natürlich nicht die
infinite,
ganzen
brutal, it is
Lizenzen, das ist dann auch wieder
difficult, to
doof.
say the least. It's the final level of the original game that came out, and I cannot believe
Das ist ja
I'm
das
doing
Schöne
the
bei
math on this
FIFA,
one.
wa? Dass du da
16
fast
years
alle
ago.
Mannschaften hast.
Tim, Schaefer, and Lizette Petrie Montgomery. I am definitely dating myself, but you all welcome from Double Fine Productions. Thank you so much for being here. Tim, can you believe it has been 16 years? I almost said 19 years.
Yeah, it feels like only yesterday, but it kind of was for Raz because the story picks up right where the first game left off. And even though it has been a lot of years, it's a game that matters a lot to us. We really love it here at Double Fine, and we know that a lot of fans, it meant a lot to them. And so we really want to be true to the spirit of the first game, which we were able to do because we brought back a lot of the same voice actors, and we also have a lot of people on the team here that worked on the first game, as well as bringing on a bunch of new people like Lisette.
Thank you. It was really important for us to carry the legacy forward, especially the cool style of Wonk that is.
Jetzt habe ich gar nicht aufgepasst bei dem Trailer.
Style of wonk. Just put it on a shirt. I'm in there for it. Let's roll it back a bit. Of course, this can be a kind of a trippy idea if you're not familiar. Psychonauts, they still jump into people's minds, I'm assuming, like the first game, right? So if a Psychonaut sort of dove into my brain, it would be like a lot of Ted Lasso quotes and French Bulldog memes. Am I correct, Tim?
Yeah, that's what's fun about a Psychonauts game is that all the levels are different, just like every person is different, based on their personality. If you could jump into someone's mind, what would it look like in there? What would be the color of the sky? Like, who would the monsters be? In Psychonauts, you get to do that because Raz has the power of astral projection. And when he goes in, he gets to fight those monsters and help them deal with their nightmares and wrestle with their inner demons.
Ja, genau.
Variety, and there's a lot of anything goes. We can go to any location, we can have any art style.
Fortnite ist Geschmackssache.
Das ist alles Geschmackssache.
Was really fun to do.
Well, I loved it from the first game.
Eigentlich hat der eine spielt Overwatch, der andere spielt einfach.
In the game world. I mean,
Oder gar keins.
Psychonauts 2's got it all over the place, I'm sure.
Yeah, it was really important for us to carry forward the unique brain worlds and unique levels from the first game and the unique style as well. So we were really focused on how we could bring forward that style in Wonk and also bring in new levels and enemies.
Now, of course, it wouldn't be Psychonauts without new mental demons, and I'm sure it's happening in Psychonauts
Und Sony
2.
kommt ja jetzt auch nicht, wa, zur Gamescom.
Does it mean basically is that we're finally able to slap COVID anxiety in the face?
Well, I don't know if you get to slap anxiety in your face, but you definitely get to slap some panic attacks, and COVID definitely caused a lot of those.
Horizon Zero Dawn 2
in addition
wird
to
auch
panic
cool.
attacks, some of our old enemies have also come back. Our sensors are our favorites, and they're definitely here. And in addition to that, we also have our doubts. And some new enemies. There's our lovely sensor. Also some regrets, some flying regrets. There are a ranged enemy, and they definitely are challenging. Our doubts are our slow, sticky melee enemy. You're also seeing our enabler here. He energizes our whole combat troop. So we have a whole cast that you can battle and fight with.
Including the new bad mood.
Including the bad mood.
Which is
the electric storm of feelings that you have to fight.
Now, for those who haven't played the original, available now
Das hat auch so einen
on
ganz
Xbox
eigenen
Game
Stil,
Pass,
wa,
by the
dieses
way.
Spiel.
Wink. Tim, why is Raz so good at rummaging through brains?
Raz is, he has some very special skills. He has two whole sets of skills, one being the acrobatic skills he learned growing up in the circus. He can balance on tightropes, jump on trampolines, swing on trapezes, and that helps him navigate and get around to all kinds of interesting places. But he also has this other side to his personality, which is that he's a powerful psychic. So he can levitate objects, he can use telekinesis and pyrokinesis. He has these powers which people might recognize from the first game, as well as 3 new powers for the second game. He has the ability to mentally connect thoughts together, and he can connect 2 thoughts and actually connect 2 thoughts together to solve puzzles and to navigate in this game. He has the power of time bubble, which is just change and slow down how things are moving by changing people's perception of time. And he also has the power of projection, which allows him to pull an archetype, a personality, out of his unconscious mind and bring it into the world that he's in, like a companion in battle or in puzzle solving.
But let's talk about the story for a second, because as the original Psychonauts, we saw Raz training to be part of an organization, and now perhaps he's part of a whole organization at this point. And are there other brain agents, other Psychonauts out there that maybe grew up in a completely different circus?
Yeah, we have a lot of new characters in this game.
We do. We have a lot of new characters in this game. As soon as Raz arrives on the headquarters, he immediately gets introduced to the interns. And the interns quickly tell him and show him how he fits into the organization.
The bottom.
They're right down at the bottom.
Yeah, so earn his way back to the top again. He's no longer the coolest kid in summer camp.
Aua,
and much to his chagrin, his entire family, his entire embarrassing
die Oma sieht ja aus.
circus clothes wearing family comes to visit him.
Die Oma
in
macht
front
jetzt,
of all
na
his new
klar.
friends. And so the interns find out that he's the awkward middle child of the circus family. Each one of them has their own quirks and foibles, and some of them are even psychic. And so a lot of their story gets told in this game, including their backstory and how it relates to the foundation of the
Ich habe jede Menge.
Well, I like that. And of course, as you might know already, I'm sold. But you, of course, already knew that. When can myself and the rest of the world
Brecke schläft gleich ein.
revenge?
Nicht einschlafen, Brecke, sind nur noch 20 Minuten.
You can get back to the beef and play
Ja, mit Fortnite kann ich nachvollziehen.
on August 25th on Xbox.
Manchmal auch manche Momente, so, wo die Season halt gar nicht verbockt und du denkst, ey.
Lizette
gucken, wie die neue wird. Und dann, weiß ich nicht, das Battle Pass manchmal weg. Also das kann ich nachvollziehen, den Punkt.
Thank you so much. We're very excited.
Thank you.
And you can catch more of Tim Schafer and ask him those burning questions about the newest game in the fan-favorite franchise in our Xbox Play stream
Nein,
tomorrow. But
25 Minuten nur noch
we're
mal.
going from
Das ist
cleaning out
knapp.
mental cobwebs to cleaning up alien planets in this supremely satisfying 4K60 trailer for The Gunk.
Noch nie gehört.
Hast du mal was Neues? Ist doch schön.
I don't like this weather. I'm pretty sure the ship's insurance won't cover alien storm damage. You have to be careful out there.
The gunk's eating everything here. This planet is literally a paradise when the gunk's gone.
Nee, ich mach noch weiter, Judix. Ich mach dann noch, Matchwhite spiele ich dann noch fertig. Wird ja bloß noch eine Stunde dauern oder so. Und dann mal gucken, vielleicht noch eine Runde Need for Speed nochmal. So wie gestern. Aber nur vielleicht. Aber Matchwhite mal auf jeden Fall noch. Ist auch im Game Pass hier, oder? Irgendwann. Yep.
We have talked about so many incredible games today, and it's hard to pick a favorite.
So many incredible games, Violet.
Save Decay 2 is expanding Trumbull Valley. Come on. And
So many incredible games.
Oh, thank you. I mean, talking to Jorg is always a blast. And
Jetzt zu
Flight
Ende?
Sim
Nee.
is such
Ah, nee,
a special game to me
Forza
because,
kommt ja noch.
I mean, it's literally letting me travel the world. But I was staring daggers of jealousy watching you talk to Tim and Lizette over at Double Fine.
Well, I will say this, I understand, but you got to play Psychonauts 2 already, so I don't even want to hear
Ja, das ist auch mal nervig, wenn du irgendwie einen Skin hast, der halt gefällt, so, und dann denkst du so, hol ich mir Battle Pass oder hol ich mir nicht, und dann, nee, also,
I will say this
das
as
lohnt sich dann
well,
auch
I
nicht.
am excited to see even more of Psychonauts 2 on our Xbox Play streams.
Yes, don't forget, Xbox Plays will recap all the week's news throughout the week at twitch.tv/Xbox. So make sure to check that out. Before Kate and I let Playground Games take the wheel, let me just say that it has been our distinct pleasure to chat games and nerd out with everyone today.
Ist aber grüne
it's
Herzen
hands
noch.
down the best part of the
Warum
job,
grüne
for
Herzen?
sure.
Xbox. Xbox Herzen.
Ah, Xbox Herz, da muss mal ein X drin sein.
Now, in June, Playground Games announced that Forza Horizon 5, the highly anticipated
Stimmt da
follow-up
nur eins,
to
warum?
2018's breakout hit open world
vom
driving game
Pokern.
Forza Horizon 4.
Aber Forza sieht schon, also krass aussehen tut es ja, finde ich. Ne?
Xbox Game Pass for console, PC, and cloud, and of course, Steam.
And if you're watching our Xbox YouTube channel, switch over to our Xbox Twitch channel to see all this new exclusive content.
And that is twitch.tv/Xbox for the full vroom vroom experience. And if you're already watching on Twitch or one of the Forza channels, stay right where you are.
Without further ado, let's dive in, starting with the new custom Forza Horizon 5 controller, which is available for pre-order today, so players can have
Ah,
it
kannst Controller
in-game
bestellen,
by
Violet.
November 9th when the
Hä,
standard
Controller bestellen? Wo, was, hä? Ich hab grad das Herz gesucht, was?
In einem Forza-Design. Jetzt! Incredible! Boah! Boah!
Stehst du nicht, ich hab Bezug von mir, hallo!
Pass auf! Alter Schwede! Boah,
Hä, seht ihr nicht, wo?
5 Stück!
Und? Hä?
Ja, sieht schon ganz witzig aus. Controller sind ja immer cool, so andere Farben.
Oh, das ist cool.
Ich bräuchte ja noch einen zweiten. Also, obwohl die ja eigentlich gleich sind zu den alten. Ich habe ja nur einen, vielleicht bestelle ich mir ja einen.
Charlie here and I'm at Playground Games with Forza. Ja, Season 8 habe ich ja auch mir geholt, kostenlos, aber da war irgendwie die Motivation dann weg. Weil Season 7 dann gesuchtet.
Everyone,
ja.
hi Charlie. Hey Charlie, how cool is this?
That is stunning. Look at that. Well, we obviously just saw a really cool video about
Warum
it.
ist denn das Steuerkreuz nur weiß?
There is an amazing influence of Mexican car culture and music literally splayed right across the front, isn't that right?
Absolutely. It just feels like it's a part of the Horizon Festival, like it's just dropped out of the game into your lap.
And there's so much we do want to show the
Solange
fans,
man
and
noch
it's quite
verstehen kann, was du da
difficult to decide
schreibst.
where to start. So can you maybe tell us a bit more about the game, Mike?
Sure, yeah. So Forza Horizon 5 is bringing the Horizon Festival's unique brand of fun and freedom to beautiful and vibrant Mexico. Players are going to set out across the largest, most diverse open
da
world
steht eine
we've
Series
ever
X,
built in hundreds of the world's most beautiful and exciting cars.
Yeah, and people think that Mexico is just a desert
Hast du
or a
gesagt
beach, but
traurig
there's
oder
so
traurig?
much more to it, isn't there?
Traurig, wo? Also bist du aber traurig, finde. Okay, traurig ist es dadurch keine Art.
Vast canyons, hidden temples, awesome, beautiful historic cities, and even a towering snow-capped volcano, the highest point we've ever had in a Horizon game.
So you've talked about how Forza Horizon 5 showcases powerful, all-new graphical features, but what more can you tell us about that?
Aber er ist schon ein krasser Hafer, aber da war so gelb.
Sky captures really illuminate the world to the point where you feel like you're really there.
Super
Thanks to the Xbox Series X and S, ray tracing is utilized in Forza Vista to really make our cars look more true to real life. You'll encounter the smallest of details as you travel throughout the world, all rendered in striking realism.
Oh, that's such an exciting overview. I cannot wait. And next up is something we know that Forza Horizon fans have definitely been waiting for the most. Mike, what exactly is that?
Yeah, that's right. We are about to reveal the cover of Forza Horizon 5, featuring the incredible Mercedes AMG 1 and the 2021
Ich finde den ganz nett, den
Badlands.
Controller.
Should we take a look?
Let's do it, yeah.
Ja.
Da jetzt. Das sieht richtig nice aus, finde ich, das Spiel. Das muss man sich jetzt danach nochmal angucken, den Trailer in 4K.
Der Trailer sieht trotzdem gut aus.
Ja. Aber das Ganze läuft ja in 4K mit 60 FPS, oder?
Mhm.
Auf der Series X. November.
Now, those are two very different ways to explore Mexico. So what I want to know is why those two cars were chosen and what players can expect when they get behind the wheel.
Yeah, so those differences are exactly why we chose them. The Mercedes AMG 1
marks
the first time a car features
PS5-Controller?
Formula 1 hybrid technology, almost one-to-one from track to the street. And with the 2021 Ford Bronco Badlands, you know, that's primed for rugged off-roading across Mexico's vast terrain.
And I'm certain people can't wait to see more of what these cars can do in the game, so I don't think we should keep them waiting any longer. Mike, can you tell us about what we're about to see next?
Yes, so in a few moments' time, we'll be kicking off a Forza Horizon 5 Let's Go stream, and everybody should check that out for a big deep dive into loads of new content and features from Forza Horizon 5. But before that, we have
Kannst du doch auch am PC slayer. Brauchst du nur den Game Pass.
Both the Mercedes AMG 1 and the 2021 Ford Bronco Badlands.
Kannst du dir da bei eBay holen für 2,50 € für 2 Wochen und dann kannst du das spielen.
Cargo planes and a race under beautiful
Sogar auf dem Handy.
skies all the way to the Horizon Festival. Should we check it out?
I think we should.
Oder auf deinem Tablet, überall. Dank xCloud. Battle Royale. Abgeworfen. Der Warzone-Kämpfer. Am brennt denn? Ach, Waldbrand oder was? Oder was soll das sein? Ah ne, ist Lava, wa? Waldbrand, genau bescheuert.
Here we take control of the 2021 Ford Bronco Badlands.
Blue Ghost.
Snow-capped Gran Caldera volcano.
Ja, vielleicht. Jetzt mit Auto. Die Dinos haben sich verwandelt. Transformer.
Das sieht schon echt schön aus, das Spiel.
Ja.
Ich hab Bock drauf.
Vor allem ist die Karte ja, glaube ich, 4-mal so groß wie die alte.
Boah.
Wenn ich das jetzt richtig in Erinnerung habe, ja. Ja, alles selber kaufen ist schon teuer. Ja, Far Cry, da bin ich auch gespannt. Das hole ich mir auch. Moinsen, Warpex. Muss ja denn so sein, Slayer.
So now we see the 2020 Corvette Stingray tearing up the asphalt towards a dust storm in the Mexican farm.
Was ich nur schade finde, es gibt halt keine, also man sieht jedenfalls jetzt nicht, keine Tiere oder Menschen. Was? Ein buntes Flugzeug gibt es.
Ja. Schönes Flugzeug.
Ja, Open World war das ja schon immer. Forza.
Ein Sandsturm.
Wer denn? Julix. Oh ja, das ist krass, wa?
Ja.
Du siehst ja gar nichts. Oh, was passiert jetzt? Kommt noch einer runter. Was ist denn das? Warum kommen denn da immer Autos runtergeflogen? Ist das jetzt nur für den Trailer oder ist das irgendein Spielmodi?
Achso, ne.
La Selva. Germany, Berlin.
Next up
Aus
is the
Berlin.
Porsche 911 Desert Flyer, crashing through the dense jungle tree canopy.
Flamingos!
Es gibt Tiere, ja? Ach eben, ja, waren Flamingos, ja. Vielleicht gibt es Schmetterlinge, man sieht ihn nur nicht, wenn man so schnell vorbeifährt.
Genau, es gibt Schmetterlinge.
Wenn du stehen bleibst, dann landet er auf dem Spiegel.
Ja, dann sieht man den.
Weil das macht immer viel aus, finde ich, so vom Ambiente. Oder jetzt zum Beispiel Menschen, wisst ihr?
Mhm.
Das sieht dann immer so leer aus, wie so ausgestorben, wenn da nichts ist. Macht jetzt im Grunde ist jetzt nicht so schlimm, weil das bretterst ja da eh nur durch, aber schöner ist schon, wenn sowas da ist. Keep going. Ah, Vögel. Gibt es auch für die PS4. Warte.
Noch ein Auto?
Oh, jetzt sind wir in der Wüste.
Da kommt noch ein Auto.
Ja. Oh, den lässt er ganz sanft runter. Der darf nicht runterfallen.
And on the final leg, we have the stunning Mercedes AMG 1 at full speed across Mexico's sun-baked rocky coast.
Oh, was auch bestimmt geil wird, ist der neue Gran Turismo. Ah, da haben sie auch verschoben auf nächstes Jahr, glaube ich.
Schon durch.
Wer ist durch?
Ist ja fast schon durch, hier ist ja nicht mehr lange.
Ja. Kommt vielleicht noch One Last Thing und dann...
Ja, und dann ist es auch vorbei.
Kann ich eine Stulle essen. Forza 4 gibt es Rehe, die auch über die Straße laufen. Dann gibt es die bestimmt immer noch. Ja, Forza ist Xbox exklusiv, ja.
Flugzeug.
Also Xbox Marke exklusiv. Kannst du ja auch auf dem Handy spielen. Oder auf dem Tablet, wie gesagt. Oder in jedem Browser. Also in jedem nicht, aber... Forza Horizon 5. Thanks for watching, das war's.
Hast du?
Das war's.
Da kommt nichts mehr?
Nein. Go stream on Twitch, ja, auf Twitch setzt du gehen, kannst Forza gucken.
Nee, will ich nicht. Ich will das spielen, wenn denn.
Ich kann ja mal kurz schauen, was da abgeht. Haben wir noch schön Musik kurz?
Dann kommt das wahrscheinlich eher echt alles morgen.
Na, oder die Woche verteilt zeigen sie ja, Xbox zeigt ja da was. Aber bestimmt nicht neu, so. Oder Ende der Woche dann, was morgen angekündigt wird oder so, keine Ahnung. Die hatten da irgendwie so einen Sendeplan. Xbox hier, 35 Zuschauer. Also 35.000. Bam, bam. Kann ich da hier mal kurz reinhauen, so als Rauswerfer. Einfügen und los. Ja, ich bin erwachsen. Hier, 36.000 Zuschauer. Passiert nur nichts. Was haben wir denn hier? Hat er da gerade ein Bild hier bei... Die quatschen aber auch nur. Ja, irgendwie passiert hier nichts. Nochmal neu laden. Ja, mach einfach mal, vielleicht liegt's daran. Ah, jetzt.
And the colors on,
Erzählen Sie noch ein bisschen,
ja. On the cargo plane and whatnot.
Nee.
I mean, integrating that into the controller has been
nee.
And for anyone else who maybe didn't pick up on camera, but the controller is also translucent as well, which I get really nerdy
Gleiche
with
Truppe.
translucent controllers. So I just want, in case anyone missed that detail, it is, and there is an additional detail as well, because it also comes with some
Da kam jetzt nicht viel, nee, das stimmt. Horizon Zero Dawn kommt für PS5, das wird geil, ja. Und PS4. Ja, leider kommt es auch für die PS4, man muss es wirklich so sagen.
I actually missed that, so thank you.
There you go. Should we roll the VT on the video? Yeah, so those people who purchase the controller will also get some exclusive...
Wie meinst du jetzt, warum leider?
Naja, weil das dann...
Das ist so ähnlich wie Breath of Wild oder was das noch für die WiiU kam, so ähnlich, oder?
Nee, weil das trotzdem ein bisschen runterzieht von der Leistung her. Guck mal, wenn du jetzt zum Beispiel Dings dir ansiehst hier, oder... Wie ist das Spiel, das ich gespielt habe, da... Ach, Mann! Ratchet & Clank.
You do get a couple of other things as well. You get a character cosmetic.
Das wäre ja nicht gegangen auf der PlayStation 4.
When you win an event in your exclusive,
und das war auch gut so. Das wäre natürlich, die hatten alle drunter. Kann man ja immer sagen, die schrauben dann die Details runter und so, aber du musst es ja trotzdem anpassen. Und das kostet ja alle Zeit. Und wenn sie das exklusiv nur für die PlayStation 5 machen würden, würde das einfach besser aussehen. Ist einfach so. Bei Slayer.
Perfect. Right. Well, while you go do that, let's talk a little bit more about the initial Drive gameplay, which we just saw.
Aber es gibt natürlich noch genug Leute, die keine PlayStation 5 haben, die eine haben wollen. Daran muss man ja auch mal. Die freuen sich natürlich, dass es auf PlayStation 4 kommt.
Oder Leute, die eine Series X haben wollen, aber keine bekommen.
Oder die, ja, die sind dann auch traurig, dass sie kein Forza spielen können. Kein Horizon Zero Dawn spielen können, ja. Die sind auch traurig, das stimmt. Oder bei Last of Us sind die ja auch ganz dolle traurig, habe ich gehört.
Ja, oder so God of War, so. Das können die einfach nicht spielen dann auf Xbox. Ich glaube, erst dann noch was.
Ja, dann hauen wir hier ab, dann gehen wir hier raus.
Ja. Klingt gut.
Gucken wir noch mal kurz, ob ich hier den Trailer noch mal finde. Dann lasse ich den noch mal loben am Ende. Von Forza. Oder spielen die jetzt? Oh, jetzt passiert was. Kann ja auch noch was sagen bei den Trailer hier. Oder ja? Tschö, Wobex. Ja, die zeigen den gleichen Trailer nochmal. Na gut, dann lasse ich das einfach loben. Ja, Violet, dann wünsche ich dir noch einen angenehmen Abend.
Ja. Ja auch.
Danke und dann sehen wir uns, wir sehen nie, morgen um 8.
Ja, morgen. Morgen dann, ja.
Morgen um 8 kommen epische Games. Morgen geht's um 8 los, ja. Vielleicht 10 Minuten
alles klar,
vorher
weiß
oder
ich Bescheid.
So.
Ja, ich hab's halt bestimmt.
Ja, ich freue mich. Ja, also,
super.
ich freue mich.
Ja.
Bis dann, mach's gut.
Alles klar.
Tschö.
Ciao.
So, ihr Lieben, euch sage ich ohne Tschüss. Brecke, macht's gut. Warpix, Slayer, wenn ihr noch da seid. Danke fürs Zusehen. Schön, dass ihr dabei wart. Ich hoffe, euch hat's ein bisschen gefallen, auch wenn die Spiele jetzt nicht ganz so knaller waren. Also nicht alle. Also man hat, muss schon sagen, ich habe ein bisschen mehr erwartet. Die Spiele, die gezeigt wurden, waren okay. Jetzt hier Forza auf jeden Fall richtig geil. Gefällt mir richtig gut. Und morgen ist dann die Opening Night Live von der Gamescom direkt. Da wird auf jeden Fall viel mehr und viel mehr World Premiers und das gezeigt wieder. Das wird schon ganz cool, glaube ich. Und da können wir uns drauf freuen. Ich wünsche euch was. Bis dann, macht's gut. Lasst ein Däumchen da, wenn es euch gefallen hat. Und ein Abo und ihr kennt es. Wir sehen uns später oder morgen. Macht's gut. Bye, bye.
Our second smorgasbord in as many minutes.
I'm going to say it 5 more times. You can count.
Right, okay.
I feel like it. Just decided to add it.
Und wenn ihr hier weiter gucken wollt, müsst ihr auf Twitch. Ja, Xbox. Ciao.
So yeah, so these are the 3 cars you can choose from at the start of the game. First up is the Chevrolet C8 Corvette.